Here we're looking at an approach to playing a shuffle feel that I first saw done by Steve Gadd. But then recently I heard an album. We were in a second-hand record store. I can't remember the album, but it was a blues artist, and the drummer was playing this kind of feel back in the 60s. The idea is that it's a shuffle rhythm. In other words, this. But the lighter, upbeat part of the rhythm is played with the foot on the hi-hat. So in other words, if I did it between the ride cymbal and the hi-hat, the ride is playing the quarter note, the left foot is playing the upbeat. And the way you may have seen Steve Gadd play it is with a 4 on the floor feel and playing the quarter note up on the ride cymbal. And the essence of that pattern is quarter notes on the bass drum and the upbeat over here. And to play that, I play that in terms of technique, heel up on both feet. The reason being I feel balanced because there's a similar approach on either foot, but also it gives a strong chit sound from the hi-hat. And as you see when we play it later on the hi-hat itself, for me, it just closes at the right point, which heel down may not tend to do. So another feel that Steve Gadd would do would be to open it out a little further in that playing position by simultaneously laying the stick into the ride cymbal and also splashing the foot on this side. So it just lifts the dynamic slightly. So I'll play those two elements first and then bring the bass drum and snare in. The idea of laying the stick into the ride cymbal actually feels a little strange because you're not moving your hand at the point you usually do, and as a result just the timing of it can feel a little strange. But I think it also, what it does, it prevents you get the big sound out of the cymbal because you're kind of crashing it with the shoulder part of the stick, but the laying on of the stick onto the cymbal kind of prevents that wash becoming overpowering. And it works well with that splash sound between the two. In that setting, if I was playing that kind of feel, I might also include the upbeats on the snare as well. So in other words, as well as playing 2 and 4, I'm playing the and of every beat as well. So in relation to the snare drum, those two elements would be this. So you could use another set of hi-hats on the kit as well. But you can also play it over on the hi-hat that's stepping the upbeat as well. In other words, like this. And this is where I think possibly the heel up thing comes into play in terms of the timing. And the first time I heard that used was on the Robben album, Talk to Your Daughter, with Vinnie on drums. And I think it's on the track Revelation, where he plays a shuffle feel like this. And at that point you might ask the question, well, why not just do that with the right hand on the hi-hat? But there's a difference to the sound. It's a subtle difference, but there's definitely a difference. For example, if I play the same thing, moving between the two. I think what it's doing is it's giving you a slightly louder upbeat. But there's a couple of things in order to play that pattern that you need to consider. The first being a bit of independence on the bass drum, because you notice in that groove the bass drum is no longer playing 4 on the floor, it's playing like a shuffle Charleston pattern. And so it's worthwhile going through a few different patterns that you would perhaps normally play in a regular shuffle, but this time with that upbeat feel, because as you'll discover, things don't fall quite where you expect them to fall. For example, I'll run through a few ideas. You could even practice things like halftime shuffles that way, like a Purdy shuffle. So what I'm doing on those examples is putting the ghost note in between the note with the hand on the downbeat and the upbeat with the foot. So you could try things like the Jeff Porcaro, Boss Skaggs Lido Shuffle. However, when dealing with grooves that are really shuffle based in terms of they're just swung 8th note bass, so we're not dealing with the middle partial of the triplet anymore, then I think you need the other element. I said there were 2 elements previously. The other element is the ability to play this upbeat over here slightly late, which is what most drummers would do when playing a mid-tempo swing or shuffle feel. For example, if I play a Texas shuffle with just the feet on the quarter notes, you'll notice that I'm placing the upbeat slightly late to give it that lope or sort of swagger. So when I play that kind of shuffle feel, when the upbeat is there, I need to be able to shift that note back slightly to convey that feel as well. So there you go, upbeats with the hi-hat to play a shuffle or eighth note triplet feel. And if that all feels a little strange or alien to you, perhaps just think about the coordination that's involved from a straight eighth note perspective. For example, if you can play a groove with an eighth note feel and step the upbeat eighth note, so you can see those two things are related. It's just the swung version of what you might play in a straight eighth note setting.